Hi Muses. I am feeling super prepared today, as in I've got notes on my laptop, although you see those empty canvases? I am offering these, that one and that one, even though it's mirror right now, so everything you're seeing is like it's a flipped of the, like, don't look at the artwork because they're flipped. These are special commissions if you like, and I'm totally procrastinating on painting at the moment and really filling my cup. Actually, it's intentional. I'm filling my cup. I wanted to be back in painting a lot earlier, but I'm working on other stuff and talking to muses and inside my Muse Mama stuff, which I will talk about later, because today's I'm more focused on my Muse Magic, messenger magic for muses. Basically, it's my one-on-one offering if you want my kind of perspective, my experience, and my eyes on your specific kind of creative work question, sharing what I know and have spent lots of time and mistakes and money on learning, to sell your work online, to sell your art in person. I've done 2 art fairs already and have found it easy and like fun and exciting to talk to people about my art and actually sell them and make it feel really joyful. And or just like, how do you get started on moving your art to the next level from just painting at home in your little corner that you've carved out for yourself. Anyway, today I titled this live stream as Selling Without Being Salesy. Have I got something on my teeth? If you don't know me, welcome and thank you for reaching this far. I'm Brenda Mangalo. I'm an artist. I'm a painter. I'm a creative mentor, a creativity catalyst, I guess. My calling is to inspire ambitious spiritual women, muses, to live a life of purpose and joy, joyful purpose. And that's where the Muse Mama Village comes from, is my membership, where you can access all my creative resources. And I just like to throw all the stuff in there instead of doing different courses everywhere, because I've got painting to do, and I'm a mama of 2 with 2 kids under 5, and life is very full. That's why I call it fulfilled, as in like F-U-L-L, full. And welcome here, as always, with all my videos. If you are here with me live, make sure you comment #GayLive. If you're watching a replay, hi, special love to you. You know, carving out a bit of time for yourself to learn and enjoy and be inspired and hopefully entertained and get something from this. Make sure you comment below #YayReplay. And all the heart showers. Anytime something resonates with you, I would love for you to tap the heart showers so that I know that you love it, but also that you actively engage with this, and it helps you be present and help you get more connections and value and ahas, and it also allows you to be open to receiving what it is that you need to get from me. So welcome, Selling Without Feeling Salesy. I was asking my Instagram if you're not on there, and if you are and you have an account, definitely follow me at Brenda Mangalo. I'm just at Brenda Mangalo everywhere. And I asked a question, because normally my Instagram is for showing my art and it's very much like behind the scenes of my art process, and my Facebook page is where I share my heart and experience and the mentoring and the knowledge that I've gained in the business of art and the business of weaving art with babies and stuff, which, by the way, is the training that we are going through this month in Muse Mama, which I will drop the links and stuff. Actually, let me do that now before I forget, because I'm going to forget, and this is what it's for. And this is, I hope, a great model and invitation for you to see how I do selling of my work and make offerings. That's what I like to call it. I'm making an offering and an invitation for you to step closer with me and do, you know, either get my art or to do my courses or work with me one-on-one. And this is a way of doing it without feeling salesy. I don't feel salesy, and I don't want it to feel salesy, and without feeling like it is harassing, basically, or nagging in any way, and selling with a bit of soul involved. That connection, right? And so I will go drop now before I get completely distracted. The links for Muse Messenger Magic I've just been combining the words. Messenger Magic for Muses, really. It is 4 weeks one-on-one with me. You get a call so we can have an initiation intensive to really get where you're at and where you want to go with your creative work, whether it is starting and actually starting selling your work online, whether it is just about selling or you want to sell in person, or really have someone who's been in this for a little while now, and I'm not promising get rich quick schemes or the magic bullet. I don't believe in that, and if you believe in that, I'm not for you. But to be able to have someone who can help anchor you back to what it is that you're doing, to still find some play in your purpose and purpose in your creative work. And I know that sometimes life is really busy, and to commit to a course or to commit to like group learning things, and it can be a lot when really you just want to be able to message someone really quickly and then get a message back, you know, during work hours, reasonable hours, but I'm pretty much on my phone a lot because that's my access and connecting to my work in other ways while I'm weaving this with my babies and stuff, and doing it during nap time, which is what I'm doing now, and I don't have a lot of time, and I should stop rambling, and I'm going to put it in here in the comments below. And yes, that's Messenger Magic for Muses. If you would like to look at that, the link is there. I'm really excited about doing it because I know personally that I've been able to do all of that I've been able to do and get my mindset right and be able to get some clarity and get the courage and the confidence to really show up and do the work that I'm doing and weave all that creativity and actually have fun and feel connected and not feel so alone, because I invested and I reached out and I connected with people and formed my own kind of community of creatives, of ambitious women, of people who are in business and really seeing it that way, and people who can challenge the way I see things and push me towards the goals that I say I want to do. And you know, when you're like, yes, I'm going to do it, and then suddenly you get really scared, but having that community and having someone to talk to, which is what I'm offering for you, it means that you can be reminded of your courage and that you are capable and that someone's got your back and that you're not a complete failure. If you kind of miss a step, you can find your way back really easily, and that's what I'm offering for you. And it is like super incredible value. It should be costing way more than it is for my personal one-on-one time, but for the first 5, that's what I wanted to offer for people who are quick and who get it and who's just like, yes, this is what I need from you, Brenda. Let me pin that comment. All right, selling without feeling salesy. Okay, first thing, and this question was raised, and I totally understand that, especially for creative work, you know, if you're selling like a widget or like a thing that you can just like mass produce somewhere, then you just talk about the thing and then you just kind of like push it, or you know how like some people, it's like the salesy used car salesman kind of thing, and then people just push. But with art, there's a certain understanding that art is subjective, and that art, for some reason, it should be free to be enjoyed, and I totally agree with that. But on the other hand, if you've watched my other video about how as an artist, your job is to ensure that the art gets made, and sometimes the art needs to be made because it needs to have certain resources, and those resources are like your time and your attention and your energy, but also money to buy art supplies, to buy what you need, to feed yourself so that you as the vessel can show up to create the work so that these people can feel joy and feel enlightened, to feel encouraged, to feel motivated, to feel changed and transformed, all of the things. So I totally understand this idea that maybe your art should be able to speak for itself and that you can just show, and I'm going to use painting because that's what I know and this is what I sell, as well as memberships and online stuff, business stuff, but let's just say for painting's sake, and you using your amazing creative brain, apply this to your work, okay? A painting, yes, I could just show it and just be like, here's my painting, and then hope that people would just like throw money at me. Totally. And on one hand, that you know that sounds a bit silly because they can't throw money at you if you don't talk about it and let them know that it is available. So sometimes you have to actually speak it out. So what I like to think of, the very first thing, is to think of selling as service. Selling is a service. And when you think about the word service, you are making an offering, you're actually helping people. So if you don't think of it as selling is salesy, which suggests that you are only about the sale, you are only about the money, you're basically trying to take something from someone, which feels icky and gross and rude and not what you want to do and takes all the magic and joy out of your art in the first place. So if you can flip that around to go, selling is service. And if you take that spirit of serving, which means you're offering and helping someone, you then will be able to find it a lot easier to be able to say, this is available for you in exchange for this amount of money. And the reason it isn't for free is because this amount of money allows me to then buy what I need to buy, live my life, be the kind of person I need to be, as in like healthy, be able to get enough sleep, have a roof over my head, be able to feed myself, feed my children, and not be stressed, because it's hard to make art when you're fully stressed, so that I can make more art for other people because of this service. And they then get to be part of this kind of energetic exchange, or another way of saying, as part of this, I think of it as a creative cycle, because my creative cycle doesn't end with just varnishing and finishing the painting and getting it framed, but to see it go off to its forever home and to see the other person enjoy and really live it out. And then that's the end of that creative cycle for that painting, when it finds its home, when it finds this person and it's been exchanged, so that I can continue to make other artwork. And so if you can think of it as service, then you have to be able to think of your art as something that you believe in and that you believe is good enough and, I guess, worthy and valuable to offer for people, that they are actually going to get something of value and beauty and joy from it. Even if you're feeling like your art could probably improve, absolutely. And this is where you practice as a creative, to be able to hold the two things in your hand at the same time. That on one hand, you're like, this is the best I can do. This is the best I've done. I can't believe it came from me. It is freaking beautiful artwork. While simultaneously going, I could totally improve. I can see where I can do better next time, all that kind of stuff, because you are always a work in progress. And this is that whole ability to be able to be present and fully here while being ambitious and thinking of your vision and your goals in the future. And so if you can know that your art is valuable because you created it and you're being called to create it and to offer it to the world, that the art wasn't just for you and that you got the value from it, from the process of making it, becoming the person who made this art, but also believing that that other person was going to get value from it, then selling is a service when you actually let them know that it's available for them and that they can bring it home and they can enjoy it and get the feelings that they got from seeing your work, experiencing your work, but daily in their life, and have it be part of their life, as opposed to like a flying, passing thought experience, you know? And yes, let me check my notes. This is what I'm doing when I'm checking my notes. You have to, at the same time, right? So this is a selling, it's part of the service. And also the service isn't just for them, but the service for your art. Because as the artist, I always see myself as, I'm the vessel, right? I'm the one that makes the work, but the work is not me. And I don't take it personally when someone rejects my art. Sorry, I'm burping. I totally just had lunch. When someone rejects my art and thinks that it's ugly and they don't like it, I try not to take it personally. I know it's hard, it's a practice, but this is this mindset where I'm just a vessel. I make the thing and the thing is not me. And so if they reject the painting, it is not for them. It's fine. I don't take it personally. But it also means that I don't take it personally if they do love it and they talk amazing things about it and they think that I'm amazing because I'm the one that made it. And I accept graciously all those compliments and sometimes let myself pat myself on the back, but mostly I just feel blessed and lucky and grateful that I was a part of this kind of experience, an event where I was somehow a participant in making this thing that they are getting such incredible joy from. And so the service is also for the art that's calling out, it's being asked to be made. And as the artist, you're not only ensuring that the art gets made, but that you allow it to be seen and to be released out into the world. And therefore your job as the creator is to somehow sell it. And by selling it, as in make that offer and tell the world that it's available for people to take it and fully experience it. And so if your business model, if your work is for one-on-one sales versus like public art or more of a public art installation type stuff, or more of a kind of free community experience, whatever it is, it still involves letting whoever it is that you're offering it to know about it. And that is the service that you are doing not just for them so they can get joy and beauty and all the things from it, but also that your art gets to be seen, because that is your job. Your job as an artist, we're talking like big esoteric thinking here, and I know a part of it kind of feels like a little wanky, but this is what it is. Your job as an artist is to ensure that the art gets made, and that means pulling intangible ideas and inspiration from, you know, wherever it came from and bringing it into reality, whether that is a painting, whether it is a concept or a book or a experience like a retreat or jewelry, whatever it is that your thing is. Your job is to bring it and make it into a real tangible thing. And sometimes, yes, it's just for you. The value from it is, there's so many ideas. Value from it is that you got something from it because of just the making of it. You became a different person. You really understood your art a little bit deeper. But on the other hand, when you bring it into the world, your job doesn't stop there and you've made the thing. You've got to let, if it's for the world, let the world know about it and make an offering, because there's someone who's supposed to buy it and really enjoy it. And this is why I loved one-on-one selling in person at my art fair that I did last month. And I've done 2 of these now. And the joy isn't just, oh yes, people paid me money to buy the art. It's that I got to meet the person who bought it and who tells me what they're feeling about and where they're going to put it and how they're so excited that they're going to see this every day and what they're going to feel every time they see it, and just the amazement that they connected. It's almost like, you know, when you just meet someone for the first time, you just click and you don't even know what that is and you don't care. You don't need an explanation for that magic. You just are just marveling at the fact that you got to experience the magic. And I got to experience that in person and see it. And so if you can think of selling as just an opportunity for you to experience that magic, and it's a part of your service, why wouldn't you be super excited? Which is my next point about being super excited. Actually, before I do the super excited part, I should write that down. If you're feeling like you don't want to be like, I'm going to say a lot of like, make your intention really clear that you are selling the work. So if you are offering your work on Instagram, let's say, or on Facebook, right? You make your whole thing about, and you talk about how this is for sale, this is for sale, this is for sale. And not in a salesy way, just like, this is available if you would like, put a dollar amount on it and that's it. Or, you know, whatever your sales process is. And this is where it's hard for me to explain on a live stream. I need to talk to you one-on-one. This is why you contact me and get onto my one-on-one offering so that I can like help you specifically. But whatever it is, you make it upfront. Just like how I did in this live stream, I am offering my Messenger Magic for Muses one-on-one offering right now. And I've already put the link in there. I've already mentioned at the beginning. I'm going to mention it throughout this video. But I'm not trying to be salesy or being salesy in any way, because I've made my intention clear from the beginning that something is going to be offered for sale. If for you, absolutely, trust your gut, listen to your heart. If you're feeling like you don't want to just say it at the very end because then it feels like you're tricking people, then this is why sometimes I say at the beginning, hey, I'm going to talk about something, I'm going to be offering it for sale, while still giving value and being excited and talking about my art or whatever it is in person, my paintings, let's say. Or that's why at my art fair, I'm at an art fair, I'm in a place, in a position where clearly all the artists are there selling their work. So I don't have to like explain that I'm selling the work. So put yourself in that situation and make sure you form your business, your online website, your social post or whatever, anytime you're talking about it, that yes, it is available for sale. And the other way to not feel like you're being salesy or like you're being underhanded, which is what I think a lot of what you mean when you say salesy, is that you don't kind of mention it like and kind of flip that around, is because you don't feel desperate about having to push for that sale. So that means you have to release any of the pressure and desperation about that sale, which requires a lot of trust in yourself and in the art, that the art will find who it needs to find, provided that you as the artist, as the creative, have done the work of both making the thing as well as letting the world know about it and made that offering really clear. The intention was really clear that this is what the offering is, and while at the same time being super excited. Does that make sense? Hashtag makes sense if it makes sense. And as always, if you have like specific questions, definitely drop them below and I will answer them here. I totally forgot I was supposed to share this inside my group because we're talking about weaving art with babies inside my Muse Mama group, and I wanted to share this as an example of how you do things in nap time, which we'll be talking about next week. Muse Mama, come say hi. Sorry, forgive me. Comment below while you're waiting for me and talking and stuff. What it is it that you're resonating with in terms of feeling like, what was I talking about? I just had thought. Let me check my notes. Selling a service. How are you currently making your offering? And then actually making it clear, like how's that balance between making it clear that something is for sale and at the same time that it is of service without giving everything away for free? Because it's not a service if you end up feeling resentful and awkward and desperate and like high pressure, which then just makes you feel really like, and then it just sucks all the magic from the art, the creative work. Comment below while I write my post while I'm sharing. And if you love this and you're loving all my stuff, as always with all my videos, please share, please send all the love hearts and all the things, because it helps this video get be seen and it means that more people can see it. And especially because if you feel like you've got great value from it, share it out to the world, because then other people can get value from it. All right, let me have a sippy on my coffee. This is only my second cup today because I had a crappy first cup. I'm like, you know what? Life is too short for me to be drinking bad coffee. So I'm allowed to have a second one. Not that caffeine affects me in any way. I sleep. I just enjoy the taste. All right. Being super excited. Okay. So selling a service. Let me just clean my gross glasses. I can't see anything without them. All right. Being super excited. So if once you know selling's a service, you are trusting that your work will find the people that it needs to find, and do whatever it is that you need to do in order to not have that desperation and pressure. And this is, again, you need to do one-on-one with me so that we can like hash out what your specific thing is, because I'm thinking of way too many options and we don't have a billion hours to do this on the live stream. Although comment them below and I can come back around and talk you through with my perspective and my opinion. As always, that's all I have to offer. But I know that if you're here, you're like me, that you take all of these people's perspective and you put them in your head and you mush it around and you find what works for you, and you will find your own flavor and your own tweaks and your own kind of version of things. And the value is in seeing that perspective and whether getting permission to do it your own way, permission to do it my way, or to just have a new perspective, because a new way of seeing allows you to see new opportunities. All right. Oh, hi, Jessica. I was thinking about you the other day. I don't know why. I can't remember. But I was. I think on the weaving business and babies training inside the membership, Jessica's a member of Muse Mama. And I was thinking about you and you're doing your work and on all the things that you're doing. Jessica says, I'm not doing any of these things, not confidently sharing what I offer or how to work with me. I have a big confidence block I'm trying to work through. Need to just put it out in the world. I know, it feels easy to say, right? Just do it. Just put it out in the world. And I've done that, and I've done a lot of things where I'm just like throwing art out there and hoping people will see it and then walking away. And realizing, oh, that's why it didn't sell, because even though I put it out there, I did not do all the work that I could as the artist, which was required of me, to really make sure that the people who need to know about it, and to be really clear about it, and to really kind of make sure I explain it or talk about it or make sure that they know about it, because sometimes you gotta repeat it. But here's a very good segue to my next point about being super excited. Because if art was of service, not art, selling is of service, because you know that your work is going to be transformative, and you know that your work is something that's going to give people joy or what they need or beauty or what it is that they would desire in their hearts and what they want, as well as what they need, whatever it is, right? Whatever it is. You know that that's what's going to help, and you know that you're being called to do it, and that you're trusting not just you as the artist, but that the work is able to stand on its own, and that you are being called for a reason, and that calling is correct, I guess, is true and what needs to be done, and that you do not want to be the person that gets called and then just kind of hung out the back because you got scared. And whether you made that choice of being the person who gets scared but still does it anyway, or that your calling is going to be greater than your excuses. Anyway, this goes into a whole bunch of other stuff. But idea is, if you know that is amazing and that's your beautiful, and it's beautiful and it's worthy, you are fantastic explaining things, Brenda. I love that about you so much. Oh, thanks, Jessica. Sometimes I think I'm just going around in circles, but I have to speak it, otherwise I can't get any clarity. And I really hope that these kind of make it clear for you guys too. So if you really believe that your art is beautiful and that it is of service, and that is what your intention is, you're making it clear, and that you know that the money that you're taking from them isn't taking, it is allowing you, and you're offering them an invitation to be part of this kind of cycle, the creative cycle, so that they can then go off and do amazing things because of the thing that you've offered them. And what they offered you in return means that you can then create and do more things and more amazing stuff. So I think of it that way, right? They pay me money so I can make more paintings. See all these empty canvases? They need paintings. Then other people can be more amazed and feel transformed, all that kind of stuff. And at the same time, I know that that painting, because I've seen it in person, and I've met these people in person who bought my paintings, they're going to be able to look at it every day and feel amazed in their home. And then when they bring people to their house and they have friends over every day, they're going to be reminded of how they felt worthy of it, that they saw something beautiful and they connected on a subliminal level, and it's rare, and that they were part of that magic, and I was there, and they got to meet me and to meet the person who created it, and they understood all that I was trying to say with my artwork, and that kind of sense of connection with strangers. And yet we don't have to ever speak again, but they will continue on, and that then they can go out into the world to be the kind of people and be inspired every day. Every time they have a morning coffee, they're going to feel that every day, and they can go off and inspire other people. And so it's of service, so you can get super excited. When you get super excited, right? Let me hear. When you get super excited, just like I know when people see my work, okay, again, using my painting as an example, they get super excited because they're like, oh my God, it looks beautiful and it feels like this, and I love the colors, and they're just so excited. How do you think they would feel if I turn up? This is in person and art fair, right? Use that as a analogy or metaphor, whatever it is, what the word is. And I turn up and I'm like, oh yeah, you know, and I'm apologetic and I don't want to, and I'm kind of mumbling about the money, and it kind of has this kind of vibe of like awkwardness and just like shrinkingness. Like, how would they feel? It would be basically raining on their parade of excitement and magic finding. And oh good, I hope you're getting super excited. And yeah, like, you know, so I know, even if I'm feeling super tired, which is what I did when I did 4 days, exhausting, 8 hours standing at my stand to try and sell my work, but I knew that I had to do what I needed to do. And this is, again, your job as the creative, as the artist, to do what you need to do so that you could show up for your work and be the vessel. And I had to get into the excited space. And for me, a lot of that is like gratitude work or mindset work or journaling work, all this stuff I talk about in Muse Mama. We don't have time to talk about that today. Because I want to show up, because I know, sure, there's a lot of people who just walk by and they're like, and some of them make faces when they see my paintings. Again, don't take it personally, just not for them, totally fine. I send them with genuine like love, that they find artwork that they love and that they can connect with. Because I've seen when the people who love my work and they get super excited, I want to match that energy. I want to also be excited and to basically give them permission to also be excited, because I totally get when you find that magical thing that you're like, oh my God, I don't know why, but I resonate with this so much. You know that feeling where you're like, it's like falling in love, or like meeting someone who like totally gets you because they toast the same way, or whatever it is. You know, like just those little bits of connection and so I want to match that excitement with them. And by being super excited, it means you have to be comfortable with your prices, you have to be comfortable with your intention, you have to remember that selling is of service. I'm getting really excited about this right now. And the reason I can get super excited is because I know those things and I think about how they get to bring it home. And so my excitement then doubles over. And so when I do things that kind of, I guess, might be salesy, like, oh, you know, what are you thinking of? And making the assumptive close. If you've ever done business training or sales training, which I have done, so maybe that's why I'm a bit more comfortable with it. But at the same time, I think I'm naturally like this because of my mindset about how selling self-service. I decided a long time ago, I don't want to persuade someone to buy my painting because they're not going to love it. I don't want to have to convince them that they like it because that doesn't make sense with a painting. Like maybe something practical, like if they were sick and they need medicine, then I might have to try and persuade them. But I'm persuading them not because I want to, again, like the medicine thing. I'm not trying to like take their money. It's because I know that that's going to help them. Right? So that kind of maybe inner fire, you know, depending again on what your work is. But for art, for your creative work, you know, in one way, I guess it is always a luxury in that sense. It's not on that bottom level of the Maslow pyramid, but so it's not a need, it's not air, it's not water. But on the other hand, all of us, if you have a smartphone and you have access to internet, you know, hopefully you're not thinking and stressing about survival so much unless you suffer from anxiety or something, and therefore this is a whole different topic. But that art and beauty and creative work and about inner transformation and all those mindset stuff and heart things and soul things, they kind of are essential now in order to live a fully thriving, joyful, purposeful life. You're not just on survival now. You're not trying to survive. You're trying to thrive and find purpose and joy and all those kind of things. And so when I do things like assumptive close, which, you know, if you learn selling, it's like assuming that if they really love it, that they're going to want to bring it home, but that they're the kind of person who won't reject it. And I do meet a lot of them who are like, they love it, but they have never been able to convince themselves that they are worthy and allowed to be art buyers. And that's a whole different discussion. And I don't go into that. It's not my job to try and convince them or persuade them. They're just on their journey. Because the people who I know will buy my work, they love it and they're just going to buy it. Because when they see something they like, they want it in their life, they're going to figure out how to make it happen. And therefore, my job is A, to be super excited with them, and B, help them figure out how to bring it home. So this is where things like sales objections and assumptive closes and talking to them in a way to assume that they're going to buy it. These are all tactics, and these tactics sure could work, but I think of it as not trying to convince them, but I got notes. I'm looking at my notes in case you're like, hashtag thrive, not survive. Yes, Jessica, thank you for the hashtags. I'm not going to try and convince them because it feels weird and gross because it's a painting. Like, you don't need it. Although in some ways, looking at the paintings and how are we going? Let me know if I'm still on. Am I still on? All right. I see myself and it looks like I'm still on, so I'm going to keep going because I don't want to lose this video because there was a lot of fire in it. And oh my God, talk about embracing. Oh, thanks, Jessica. Embracing imperfection. I keep talking about this in the Muse Mama village. We'll be talking about that, I think, next week. I'll need to check my notes. I don't know. I think I'm going to talk about that all the time. Yes! All right. What was I up to? Being super excited. Right. Not going to try to convince them. But that I might want to help them be able to bring it home. Right? And so people having a little bit of hesitation or because they're not sure, because I get that, especially for first-time art buyers, who've never really gone down that road before. A lot of the time their objections, I guess, is really asking, am I really doing this? Am I really going to spend that kind of money on something I don't need that isn't food or water or air? Not that we do pay money for food, for water. Anyway, or like they're like, am I really gonna, like, I came here just to look at art. Like, who buys art? Am I really an art buyer? So they're really changing their identity, right? And this is where selling talks about not trying to ask them to do something different, but you're asking them to be something different. And for first time, I know for my first time art buyers, for my virgin buyers, my virgin collectors, I do have a lot of my virgin collectors who buy me as their, I guess, their cherry breaking anyway, now we're going down a weird road now, is that they had to really wrap their head around the fact that, oh my God, I'm going to be an art buyer, like an original art buyer. And I'm there then, again, as part of the service. It's not to try to push them. I'm like, I make sure that they feel like there's no pressure. There's no pressure about it. I don't need their money. I'm not that desperate. There are other ways, if I really wanted to get money, instead of using painting and art, okay? Like there are other ways that are more desperate if that's what I really wanted to do. And so there's no pressure for them. And at the same time, to really be there is to really be present and to give them permission and to help hold that space for them while they wrap their head around the fact that they are shifting their identity a little. I know it's like, it sounds a bit much intensive to be like, oh my God, they're changing their identity. But in a way, yeah, you are, especially when it comes to your creative work and they're trying to step closer. That's why you're in that invitation and offering to them. You're asking them to step closer to you, into your world. You're offering your art, your creative work, so that they can transform their life, whatever that means. And that could just be the one world, their life. It's a tiny thing, but it's a big thing for them. And so what I do is I remind them of the feeling that they have, and I ask them to talk it through, and I ask them to explain what it is that they're feeling hesitant about. I remind them that it's one of a kind, and that at the same time, you know, it's one of a kind. You're not going to see it again because my work, it doesn't really repeat itself. But at the same time, if there's no pressure, they can always come back. They can check my website. They can, you know, look for a better one that's a more perfect fit, that's more instant yes. Because in the end, with creative work and with any of this kind of stuff, especially even my world, I believe in the instant yes, in your intuitive like gut, like yes, that's it. Then the question becomes your brain going, are you really going to do this? Are you really going to be that person? And so my job as part of the service of being the artist and selling to them as service is to hold them in that space and be like, you know what? You're allowed to be that person. Yes, you already are that person. Yes, you are capable. It doesn't mean that you suck. I'm not offended in any way if they choose not to, even though they feel like they've wasted my time or that they're, you know, talking to me and then they don't buy my art. I'm not offended. I don't need their money. I'm not desperate. There's zero pressure. You know, and so when I say, oh, you know, you can buy a different painting, you can come back around and see if it's still here, and then it might speak to you, or, you know, you can look at my website later. But I know that for those who really want it, they're going to think, oh my God, it's one of a kind. I don't want to. So I do remind them, well, how would you feel if somebody else bought that painting? And for a lot of them, it's like, shit, no, that was the one thing. They just needed to see it differently and go, no, I want that in my life, and that it's available, and that I am making it available and I'm offering it to them, and they get to bring it home. Like it should feel like that they get to bring it home and I get to make more art from that exchange, from that whole experience. And that's what I think of it as well. It's a full experience. Not just here, give me money, which is not a great experience at all. But again, all of this about like assumptive closes and different tactics and stuff, which you can totally learn. But in the end, it's the mindset of selling a service. And that selling a service, and that you got to really trust, right? And I talked about this earlier about how you trust that your work is of value. It doesn't have to be worth $1 billion or $1 million or maybe even $1,000. Maybe it's only worth $100 and it's a little number, but you know that it was meant to be offered to the world, and you know that it's going to transform people, and you know that you put all you could and all you had and all that you were able to, because that's what you were called to put into it as the artist, as the creative person, whatever it is that you're making. Right? Whether it's a book, whether it's a coaching thing, whether it is an offering like I'm talking about with my messenger Magic for Muses, which I've been talking about. It's in the pinned comments. Check it out if you want to work one-on-one with me and really have that my eye, and, you know, or just like have me in your pocket, which is what the whole messenger thing is, in your pocket, and you're just like, Brenda, I don't know how I'm going to sell it. Someone asked me about the work, and I totally understand that feeling where you're like, yes, I'm putting it out for sale, and then I kind of internally run away. And then you see someone come, and I used to think this way, and they want to buy it, or like, you know, you could tell they kind of want to buy it, and then a part of you's like, oh, I'm gonna have to sell them, and then you feel that retraction, and you're trying to like hide because you're like, oh, it's awkward, I have to talk about money. And I really had to get my head around that, and that's where all my coaching and masterminding and just embracing the uncomfortable of, and uncomfortable as in not because it's against my values, but the uncomfortable because I'm so stuck in old habits of thinking, old habit ways of thinking, which was that talking about money feels wrong, and to say that it's for sale means that I'm not a real artist or a new creative, or that I'm going to be taking money from them, or or I think of objections for them already. Oh, it's going to be too expensive for them, or they don't know how to pay, or they're going to be really trouble and they're going to hate me after because they're going to bring it home and then hate it and reject it and want a refund. Like, I'm already thinking of bad things that's probably not even real, and it didn't even cross their mind. And that energy then transfers to them, which is probably why they walk away. And that I've learned about, can't remember from where, definitely tell me if you know it so I can credit people, or it might be from a whole bunch of different people and it's just become my own story. But the idea of like turning your internal light on to say that I am available, I'm available, as in my work is available for sale for you. I want to offer it for you. I'm giving it to you as a gift in exchange for something, and not gift as in it's free so you can just suck me dry and therefore I will no longer be able to make art and you'll be forever known as the person who sucked an artist dry. They don't want that. And so once I was able to turn that light on and not be like, turn it on, and then when they come closer they're like, oh, I see this offering happen, and then you switch off the light. That is not being of service. That is rude and confusing and mean to be like a giver and a take away, or a, what's that word in the playground where you're like a take backer? I don't know. I'm making words up. And so trusting that whoever it is. So on one hand, you made the work. It's beautiful. Don't even know where it comes from. Most of the time I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I made that. Because I fully, knowing my creative process, again, if you want to talk about creative process more than selling, Muse Magic for Muses, link below. About your creative process, I know how to work it. I know the whole cycle about resistance and making the work and whether or not you're going to release it, all that kind of stuff. And then at the end of it going, oh my God, I can't believe I made this. And then, so then you fully trust, I can't believe I made this. It's beautiful. I need to offer it for people. I can't wait to see who gets to bring this and who gets transformed by it and who gets to bring it home. And I get to connect with them on this level that as the artist who made this work and made it for them in a way. That's the one hand. And on the other hand, trust that this is going to work and they're going to find their place, and you totally surrender and release the pressure and desperation to like, must have the sale, right? You can release it. That's that hand. But on the other hand, trust doesn't mean you just sit on your ass and do nothing and just be like, here you go. And then wait silently, that they will come. No, trust also means that you have to step forward, right? I'm checking my notes so I can like check wording. That you step forward and be like, hello, everyone, this is available to all the places. Just like I talked about earlier about your job being the artist, that you need to let the world know about it because that's your job, to bring the thing into life, to bring into the world, but also to shine that light for the world so they can see it and know about it, and that you're calling in the people who need it, and that if they need it, you're giving them what they need. Right? And then the trust comes from knowing that, trusting that they're going to be adult enough to be able to say no if it's not for them, it's not the right time, they're not capable, they can't hold the space for themselves, they can't wrap their heads around changing their identity, they can't afford it, whatever it is. But you don't make them feel bad about it, and you don't feel bad about it, because it's a neutral question. It's just like, this is this thing I made. It is beautiful. I can't believe it. It's just, I know whoever it is going to get it. It's going to be amazing. And it's also available for sale, and still doing all the work that you need to do to make it available so people know about it, and why you're super excited. That's where that energy comes from. Super excited about it, and why you're excited about it, and all the stuff that's going to come from it and what they're going to get from it, and really speak about it and share about it and be unapologetic and not be sucking the magic from the work. And so that's what trust is. Trust. Because if you knew that it was of service and it's beautiful and stuff, would you sit on your ass and be like, hide it in a box? No, you will like be if you were a kid, you'd be like ringing your bells and like making people know and trusting that if they want it, they will come, or that you're going to go to them because they can't come to you. They don't know who you are and they're a bit shy, whatever it is, that you make it available and get them and they can see it and stuff, and not feel rejected because it's not for them. You're just looking like hide and seek. You're just looking. It's a neutral question about, hey, it's available. Do you want it? And if they go, no, okay, it's not for you. Do you want it? And, you know, and that especially, because a lot of this salesy question is because you're meeting someone and they're kind of close and you don't want to be pushing them. And I totally get it. It's a balance. So on one hand, it's like you take all the time that they need, and you let them. This is again the zero pressure thing where you're like not pushing them. That's where the salesiness comes from. You're like, you have to put your money down now. Take all the time that you need because there's no desperation, and that you will do what they need from you to be reassured. You know, if you have a refund policy, you know, I take it out so they can see it on its own so they're not distracted by my other work. I ask genuine questions that I know some people, for them, it's about size and things, which is all like brain logical stuff. Really deep down, it's just, I know the people who just like, if they love it, they will find a spot for it. But for some people, there's logical objections, and you have to understand that, and that might come from experience depending on what your business is, that you're going to take the time to help answer those questions and reassure them. But again, all of that is part of the service of helping them accept that this is what they're going to need and how to have it in their life to bring home the work, the art, to, you know, do the work that they need to do with you. And a lot of the time is that because they don't feel like they're capable, or they don't think it's going to match. But really what that's saying is that they just don't trust themselves, or they don't trust you, and you need to take that time and that attention and that kind of quiet confidence but nurturing way of giving them that confidence in you as well as in themselves. And at the same time, not be so apologetic and defensive about your work that you push them away. Like, I've been to places where I'm like, I'm here to buy something at a shop. I don't know if you've experienced, I'm at a shop and I'm like, I'm going to buy something. I want to buy something nice for myself. And you got excited when you go in, and then someone in there is like bored, hate their job, hate being there. And they're just like, you know how like they get, and that whole, you know, downer negative energy kind of sucks all the fun and excitement that you had about being there, about buying something. And then the way they talk about it, about the work, about the thing that you wanted to buy, whatever, earrings or clothes or whatever, and you're just like, I don't want to talk to this person. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I'm like, I don't want to talk to that person. They just make me feel like I shouldn't be there because I'm like offending them, because I'm like, they're like wasting time talking to me. And or they feel like any question I ask just feels like such an imposition on their life. Don't be that person. Selling a service, be super excited. What was the other point? Know your art, know that it's of value, know that you're capable. Your job as the artist is to bring that art into the world, as well as to make sure that it is offered and that the world knows about it. The people, doesn't have to be the whole world, whoever it is that's for, that they know about it. And that, oh, thanks, Jessica, it's not just me. Because, like, I get excited. I'm like, I have money. I'm going to spend it. And then these people like that. I'm like, do you not want my money? And I just walk out because I can't even, even if I really want the thing, I just don't want that interaction. I don't want that interaction, because then that just bad mood just becomes like part of my mood, and I don't want any of that. So yeah, so as long as you're not being that, but don't be the other side either, where you're like, oh, I'm sorry, and they're just like, oh, they don't feel confident about their work, you know, and they feel apologetic about asking for money from it, and then it becomes really cheap, and that's why then it feels really like, if they're not confident, is it going to break down? Are they going to have a nervous breakdown? And then I'm not going to get the magic because they're going to like completely destroy it, or they're going to like run away and I'm never going to see them again because I'm going to tell people about this thing and then they don't exist anymore, you know? So like your lack of confidence is going to end up being their lack of confidence in you. So you need to do whatever it is that you need to do. Jessica says, I hate bad customers so much I usually end up serving them as the customer and they change state eventually. I'm too friendly to resist. I feel ya. I totally feel ya. Okay. Anyway, I've got to do some client work, and because I don't have much nap time left, and school kid's gonna come home soon. So I gotta get to that. Anyway, I really hope that this is valuable. I'm gonna be sharing it to my Instagram because I promised the person Layla, who asked this question, that I made this live for you. And if you have any questions about anything about art, selling your work online, I will share my experience. I don't know everything. I don't have all the answers. Even if I have answers for myself, I don't have the answer for you. You have to find your own answers, and the way to do that, to find clarity and to find, well, clarity on the direction you want to go, the courage to actually take those steps, which is really another word for confidence, and the connection to yourself and to your calling and your creative work, as well as connections to your clients and your future market and your fans out in there. And really, to do all of that, you need to join my Muse Mama village, really, or just send me a message and ask me about Messenger Magic for Muses one-on-one work, or just ask me questions. I can't answer everything on the DMs, but I try. And I will see you guys next time in the next video. This was way longer, but thank you, Jessica, for all your interaction and your engagement and your presence, as always, because presence is everything. And I will see you next time. Mwah. Bye. Have the best day ever.